Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep on something I think we all use every day without even thinking about it. Common English phrases. We've got this really interesting guide here, and our mission today is to go beyond just knowing the phrases to understanding how they work.
Right.
So you can use them naturally and confidently in your own conversations.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal. I mean, so many people learn these phrases, but they don't know when to use them or the subtle ways that they can change the tone of a conversation.
It's like unlocking the secret code to smooth communication.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, because what's interesting is that these phrases often carry subtle meanings and cultural nuances we might not even be aware of as we're using them.
Okay, let's dive right in. Guide starts with greetings. And I was so surprised by the subtle differences between how's it going and what's up. I mean, I use them interchangeably, but apparently there's more to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How's it going? Often suggests an interest in progress. It's like, how's that project you're working on going? It's almost like you're checking in on someone's journey or something.
Interesting.
What's up? Call, on the other hand, is more about someone's current state, like what are you up to right now?
So using how's it going with someone you haven't seen in a while could lead to a more in-depth conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Because it opens the door for them to talk about what they've been up to, their challenges, their successes. It shows a deeper level of engagement for sure.
That's such a good tip. Okay, now let's talk about a phrase we all know and love, or maybe dread. I'm running late.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everyone's been there at some point.
Everyone.
Rushing to a meeting.
Yes.
Or scrambling to make a dinner reservation.
Totally. And this phrase perfectly captures that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is its casualness. While it's perfectly acceptable with friends or colleagues, it might not be appropriate in more formal settings, especially in cultures where punctuality is highly valued.
So using I'm running late with your boss might send the wrong message.
It could, yeah. It might come across as a lack of respect for their time.
Right.
In those situations, a more formal apology and explanation would probably be better.
That makes sense. Now, moving on from being late to needing a helping hand, the guide covers the phrase, can you help me with this?
Oh, yeah, good one.
It seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Just a simple request. But I'm curious if there are nuances we should be aware of.
You're right, it is a straightforward request, but the beauty of it is its versatility. You can use it for anything from needing help with a simple task to understanding a complex concept.
Wow, okay.
The key is just adjusting your tone and level of formality to suit the situation.
So how would you phrase it if you needed help from, say, a senior executive versus a close colleague?
With a senior executive, you might say something like, would you be able to spare a few minutes to help me with this? I'd really appreciate your expertise. While with a colleague, a simple, hey, can you give me a hand with this, would suffice.
Okay. It's all about striking the right balance between politeness and efficiency. Speaking of connections, the guide highlights the importance of, let's catch up soon. It's like a classic way to signal you want to stay connected with someone.
Right.
But I'm wondering what makes it sound genuine and not just a throwaway line.
Sincerity is key here. It's not just about saying the words, but also about conveying a genuine desire to reconnect. Maybe mention something specific you'd like to talk about or suggest a potential time to meet.
So instead of just saying, let's catch up soon, I could say something like, let's catch up soon. I'd love to hear more about your trip to Italy. Or maybe we can grab coffee next week and chat.
Yes, perfect. Those additions make it sound more personal and demonstrate a real interest in connecting.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try that. Now let's lighten the mood a bit with a phrase that's all about injecting some fun into conversations. I'm just kidding. We all use humor, but sometimes it can be tricky to get it right.
Oh, absolutely. Humor is so subjective and culturally influenced, right?
Yes.
What might be funny in one context could be offensive in another.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just kidding comes in.
Right.
It's like a safety net, especially when you're unsure if your joke will land well.
Yeah.
It signals that your intention is playful, not malicious.
So it's like saying, don't take this too seriously, we're just having a laugh.
Exactly. Yeah, it helps prevent misunderstandings and maintain a lighthearted atmosphere. But it's also interesting to consider, how often we use this phrase. Are we using humor that requires constant clarification?
Oh, interesting.
Or are we just being cautious in a world where humor is increasingly scrutinized?
That's a really fascinating point. It makes you think about the balance
Yeah.
between being funny and being sensitive to others' interpretations.
Absolutely. It's a constant navigation, especially in diverse and multicultural environments.
All right, now for a phrase that's all about expressing enthusiasm, that sounds great.
Oh, I love that one.
I feel like I use this one all the time,
Me too.
whether someone's suggesting a new restaurant or sharing good news.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. That sounds great is such a versatile phrase that can convey genuine excitement and positivity in all sorts of situations. And it can make people feel heard and appreciated,
Yeah.
which strengthens your connection with them.
So even for something simple like agreeing on a meeting time,
Right.
saying that sounds great adds a touch of warmth
That
and
does-
enthusiasm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a small gesture that can make a big difference in how your message is received.
Good to know. Now, on the flip side, what happens when you don't have all the answers? The guide addresses this with the phrase, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Honesty is always the best policy, but
It is.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
allows you to acknowledge your limitations without feeling embarrassed.
Yeah.
But the key is to follow it up
Yeah.
with like a proactive statement,
Yes.
showing that you're willing to find out or make a decision later.
That's it.
So instead of just saying, I'm not sure, and leaving it at that, I could say, I'm not sure, but I'll check the schedule and get back to you.
Exactly. Yeah, it shows that you're taking the request seriously and will take action even if you don't have the answer immediately.
All right, so we've covered greetings, apologies, requests, humor, and enthusiasm. That's a pretty good range of conversational tools.
That's a lot.
But we've still got more ground to cover, and I'm excited to see what other insights this guide has in store for us.
There are definitely some hidden gems waiting to be discovered, and I think our next phrase will offer a fascinating look at how language can be used to build rapport and create a relaxed atmosphere.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
Let's
it's a good one.
take a quick break and come back to uncover this linguistic treasure. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back. We're diving deep into common English phrases and how they can help you navigate everyday conversations with confidence.
And we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yes, we did.
A phrase that can build rapport and create a sense of ease.
You're talking to our worries.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's everywhere these days. But I'll admit, I've wondered if it's becoming a bit overused. Like, is it losing its impact?
That's a really good question. It reflects this shift toward a more casual and informal communication style.
Okay.
Especially in like North American culture, Australian culture, places
Yeah.
like that.
So it's not just about like dismissing a minor mishap, but it's also about setting this relaxed tone.
Precisely. It signals that you're not easily flustered, and it encourages the other person to feel comfortable too. Imagine someone spills their coffee and you quickly say, no worries.
Yeah.
It instantly diffuses any tension
Yes.
and makes them feel less embarrassed.
It's like saying, hey, it's all good. We're all human.
Exactly. And that can be very powerful in building rapport, especially in a world that can feel increasingly stressful and demanding these days.
That makes me think about how this phrase might be perceived differently across cultures.
Yeah.
In some cultures, a more formal apology might be expected,
Right.
even for like small mistakes.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
Cultural context is always crucial when it comes to communication.
Yeah.
While no worries might be perfectly acceptable in casual settings in like North America or Australia,
Yeah.
it might come across as too informal or dismissive in other cultures.
It's a reminder that even seemingly simple phrases can have different connotations,
Yeah, for sure.
depending on where you are in the world.
Absolutely. Language is always evolving and adapting to different cultural norms.
Right.
Speaking of adapting, let's move on to a phrase that's all about encouraging active participation. What do you think?
Oh, I love this one. It's so important to make people feel heard and valued, and asking for their opinion is such a great way to do that. But I'm curious, are there times when, what do you think?
Yeah.
Might not be the best choice.
That's a great point. While it's generally a fantastic way to show respect and encourage collaborations,
Yes.
there are definitely situations where it might not be appropriate.
Okay.
Like, for example, if you're dealing with a sensitive topic or if you're in a position of authority and need to make a decisive decision,
Okay.
asking for everyone's opinion
Yes.
might not be the most efficient approach.
So it's about reading the room and understanding the dynamics of the situation.
Exactly. Communication is all about nuance. And choosing the right phrase for the right moment can make a huge difference in how your message is received.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about a phrase that's often used when we need a little more time. I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah.
I find myself using this one a lot.
Me too.
When I can't give an immediate answer or when I need to check something before committing.
Yeah, and it's a perfect phrase for those situations because it sets clear expectations without shutting down the conversation.
Right.
You're acknowledging the request
Yes.
and assuring the other person that you'll get back to them.
But I've also been in situations where someone says, I'll let you know, and then I never hear back. How can you use this phrase in a way that builds trust and avoids that frustration?
That's a common challenge. The key is to be specific.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, I'll let you know, provide a time frame or follow-up with like a concrete action.
Got it.
For example, you could say, I'll let you know by the end of the day, or I need to check with my team first and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
So it's about turning a vague promise into a concrete plan.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It shows that you're taking the request seriously
Okay.
and are committed to following through.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. From dismissing mishaps to encouraging participation and managing expectations.
What a great...
It's amazing how much these seemingly simple phrases can impact our interactions.
It really is. It's a testament to the power of language
Yeah.
and its ability to shape relationships, create connections, and convey those subtle meanings. And there's one more phrase we need to discuss, one that often gets overlooked but plays such a significant role in leaving a positive, lasting impression.
I'm all ears.
What is it?
It's the often understated
Okay.
but incredibly powerful phrase, take care.
Oh, take care. I love that one. It's so much warmer than just saying goodbye.
Exactly. Take care
Yeah.
expresses genuine concern for the other person's well-being.
Right.
It suggests that you value the connection and wish them the best, even after the conversation ends.
It's like a little verbal hug.
I love that analogy. And it's especially powerful in today's world where genuine connection can sometimes feel fleeting.
So even a simple phrase like take care can help create a more positive and lasting impression.
Absolutely. It's those small gestures of kindness and consideration that can make all the difference.
In how we connect with others.
All right, we've explored a wide range of common English phrases, uncovering hidden meanings, cultural nuances, and practical tips for using them effectively. But we've saved one last phrase for this deep dive, and it's one that offers a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of human communication.
Get ready for a linguistic revelation.
Okay.
This phrase highlights our constant need to balance humor, honesty, and sensitivity in our interactions.
Ooh, the suspense is killing me.
I know, right?
Let's take a quick break and come back to unveil a final linguistic gem. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back and ready to unveil this last phrase
I know, I'm excited.
in our deep dive into these common English expressions. You've really built this one up. What is this phrase that reveals so much about human communication?
Well, it might surprise you, but it's a phrase we've already kind of touched on today.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Wait, I'm just kidding. But we already talked about that one.
Yes, and that's precisely what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like such a simple throwaway line,
Yeah.
but its frequent use actually speaks volumes about our anxieties and our sensitivities in modern communication.
So it's more than just clarifying a joke. It's about, like, navigating the complexities of human interaction.
Exactly. Think about it. We use, I'm just kidding, to soften a joke,
Right.
to signal that we're not being serious,
Yeah.
or even to backtrack when we realize something we said might have been taken the wrong way.
Right, right.
It reveals a certain level of self-awareness, like a recognition that our words can have unintended consequences sometimes.
It's like we're constantly trying to calibrate our communication.
Yes.
Making sure we're on the same wavelength as the other person.
Exactly. And this need for calibration is even more amplified in today's world, where communication is often so fast-paced and fragmented.
Right.
And it lacks like that richness of nonverbal cues that we rely on in face-to-face interactions.
So I was kidding. Becomes a sort of verbal safety net,
Yeah.
especially in text messages or emails, where tone can be so easily misinterpreted.
Absolutely. It's
Well-
a way of adding like a layer of emotional insurance, ensuring that our humor or lighthearted teasing doesn't accidentally cause offense or damage a relationship.
It's fascinating how a phrase that seems so casual and
I
offhand
know, right?
can reveal so much about, like, the underlying dynamics of communication.
It really is. It's a reminder that language is such a powerful tool, capable of both connection and miscommunication.
Right.
And by understanding the nuances of these common phrases, like, I'm just kidding, we can become more adept at navigating these complexities and using language to build stronger, more meaningful relationships.
That's such a good point. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into common English phrases, what's the key message you want our listeners to take away from today?
I think the most important thing is to be mindful of the power of language.
Yes.
These phrases aren't just filler words. They're tools that can enhance your communication,
Right.
build rapport, and help you express yourself more effectively. Pay attention to those subtle meanings, the cultural nuances, and the contextual appropriateness of these phrases, and you'll be well on your way to mastering the art of everyday English conversation.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us today. It's been such a fascinating exploration of the subtle ways that language shapes our interactions.
It has been fun.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to try out these phrases, experiment with their nuances, and see the difference they make in your own conversations. Take care.
Take care.